Greetings. Let's get to episode 18, and this commensurates with the 20th chapter of the book of Genesis. What we have seen in Genesis 19 is how God is pronouncing his judgment on Sodom and Gomorrah, but yet God is merciful and he saves Lot, and how the life of Lot came to an end with a despiteful sin. As we get into chapter 20, we realize that Abraham once again lies to Abimelech. He again poses that Sarah is not his wife, but his sister. Now, I will just dwell on this a little more. See, the same thing Abraham had done in the book of Genesis chapter 12. He had received the call from the Lord. He took a step of obedience, and right after some time, he fell and told a lie. And look here, what's happening. In Genesis chapter 18, he's being visited by three visitors. His faith is getting strengthened. Abraham is becoming an intercessor. Abraham is interceding for Sodom, Gomorrah, and wanting to save and pray for his nephew Lot. That's the high of Abraham. And when you come to Genesis 20, we see the same Abraham is now again telling a lie, repeating the same mistake which he did in Genesis chapter 12 by saying that Sarah is his sister and not his wife. See, what Abraham was thinking is what is safe for him. Many times as believers, we think what is safe for us, and we forget to reflect what is right for us. In this, when Abraham speaks to Abimelech, he says, I assumed that you may harm me, so I told a lie. Sometimes in our Christian lives, we assume things. In our walk, we entertain fear in our life. And when fear takes hold of us, the faith starts weaning away. No matter how strong we might have been at some point of time, but when we give foothold to fear, faith starts weaning away. We start losing our peace, and we start finding and devising own ways to escape this situation. Whereas it's important for us that when fear comes, we shun the fear. No one can say that fear never comes to him or her. Fear will always knock the doors of our hearts and mind, but we shun it in the name of the Lord. And we say, Lord, fear is there, but I will look unto you and I will trust you. I will not entertain negative thoughts. I will not allow assumptions to cloud my mind, Lord, but I will simply believe in you and walk. And as we move ahead, now what happens? Abraham interacts with Abimelech, and God tells Abimelech that, look, you should ask Abraham to pray for you because he's a prophet. In this chapter 20, we realize that the word prophet and Abraham designated as prophet comes out here in this chapter. And what we see as we go ahead, that understand the timing of this situation. Why I am speaking about the timing is because in Genesis chapter 18, when visitors are coming, they are giving a promise to Abraham, next year you will have a child. And now what Abraham is doing is, Abraham is saying, my wife, oh, she's not my wife, she's my sister. She goes into the harem of Abimelech. I want you to understand, brothers and sisters, if Abimelech would have violated Sarah, well, the entire God's plan, which has started in Genesis 3:15, and thereafter he called Abraham in Genesis 12, that from a seed of a woman, the serpent will be crushed, would have just been distorted and faded away. But God intervened. God intervened in a divine intervention, and he came to Abimelech in a dream. And Abimelech immediately summoned up Abraham, and the situation moved towards a resolution. Now, what we see in the last two verses of this particular chapter is also when Abraham prays for Abimelech and his family. All the ladies were made infertile and barren by God since the time Sarah had moved into the harem of Abimelech. Well, I want to tell you that God is trying to bring out very clearly to Abimelech, I know what Abraham did was wrong by telling you a lie, but I also want to tell you that I have a strong relationship with Abraham, that my hand is upon him, that I'm here to protect him, and that his prayer will bring healing to everyone in your household, and that curse will be taken away. So God is lifting Abraham up. So when we see Genesis 20, we see a mistake. We see the timing of the mistake was very crucial and could have led to a disaster. But we see divine intervention. We see prayer and intercession in the end. And we see a curse which was there upon the family of Abimelech getting dissolved. The story continues. Thank you.